Hi guys! If you're not a fan of that Play-Doh taste and texture when you bite into a Cakesicle, I'm with you on that. So today we're ditching the dough and making 3 Cakesicle flavors that are incredibly tasty: vanilla Twinkie, double chocolate brownie, and strawberry crunch to impress any customer, friend, or family member that doesn't like traditional cake pops or Cakesicles. These game-changing techniques and recipes can be used to create any Cakesicle shape, from standard to custom designs the quick and easy way, as well as hacks to convert any mold into a DIY popsicle mold, making the process a breeze and a fantastic fruit theme to splash into summer. So let's create something magical! No Cakesicle dough means fluffy cake, just like our first flavor, vanilla Twinkie, with that sponginess and marshmallow filling in every bite. This recipe upgrades a box of Duncan Hines to taste homemade while being so simple and delicious. To your mixing bowl, add 1 box of white Duncan Hines and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Let's whisk those together. Since box cake mixes tend to have lots of clumps, be sure to whisk away. Next, you'll want to sift in your flour and sugar. The amounts are 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of sugar. I was having lots of fun with this sifter from Hobby Lobby. After that, go ahead and pour in a 1/2 cup of melted butter, 3 eggs, and 1 cup of milk. By the way, all those ingredients are at room temperature, along with our extracts, 1 teaspoon of clear vanilla, and 1 teaspoon of almond extract. And last is 1 cup of sour cream. Then we're going to mix this on medium speed for 2 minutes. Since we'll be mixing the batter for a while, our helper Rilakuma recommends a stand mixer with a paddle attachment until it all comes together into a silky smooth batter. Before we bake this cake, the instructions will slightly vary depending on the Cakesicles you want to create. For standard Cakesicles, they're conveniently baked right into the popsicle mold. All you need to do is spray your mold with non-stick and fill each cavity about 1/3 full with a piping bag. Tap, tap, tap on the counter and pop them in the oven to bake for 15 minutes at 325 degrees. When making custom-shaped Cakesicles, the batter will go right into a baking pan. Transfer into a 10-inch pan that has been greased and lined with parchment paper and bake for 20 minutes at 350. I'll include the baking instructions for each as a reminder here. That way you can always go back to pause and jot down some notes. Allow the cake to cool, and once removed from the mold, the cake is looking on point. Always check that your silicone Cakesicle mold is food grade and heat resistant. That way it's safe for baking. I'll be sure to link mine in the description box down below. To save time, the cake can be prepped and frozen in an airtight container several weeks ahead of time. The second flavor is double chocolate brownie. This is my absolute favorite brownie recipe I've ever made, and after giving it a try, it's sure to become yours too. Into a saucepan goes 1/3 cup of butter, 3/4 cup of sugar, and 2 tablespoons of water. That little bit of liquid will prevent any burning or scorching, and melt over low heat, stirring continuously to completely dissolve the mixture. When nice and melty, we're ready to remove from the heat and dump in 1/2 package of semi-sweet chocolate chips. The package has 12 ounces, so we'll be reserving the other 6 ounces for later. The kitchen smells so amazing, you won't want to go back to making brownies from the box again. Place the chocolate mixture into a mixing bowl, allow it to slightly cool, and start beating in 2 eggs, 1 at a time, along with 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract until combined. Then it's time to fold in the dry ingredients, which are a combination of 3/4 a cup of flour, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Take over by folding with a rubber spatula, doing this gradually in 2 or 3 additions until fully incorporated. For example, that's the first addition and this is the last one. Don't forget about those extra chocolate chips that we saved on the side. Now's the time to fold them in. I almost made the mistake of not lining my pan, so be sure to grease and line with parchment paper. I evenly spread out the batter into a 9-inch pan for the custom-shaped Cakesicles and set them to bake for 30 to 35 minutes at 325 degrees. Be aware not to overbake these or your brownies will get too dried out. The toothpick should be mostly clean with a few dry crumbs on there. And for standard Cakesicles, pipe the batter right into your mold that has been sprayed with non-stick. I recommend cutting a larger tip on the edge of the piping bag so those chocolate chips don't clog up the tip. The brownie Cakesicles are ready to bake for 15 minutes at 325 degrees. Baking instructions will be on the screen. The only step I recommend to include that's different from the cake is after they're done in the oven, let them cool down, then chill in the fridge for about 10 minutes so they're firm enough to release from the mold. And the third yummy flavor is Strawberry Crunch Brownie. So many of you guys raved about this recipe from my video a few years back on what treats to make for a pop-up event, except today we're making some adjustments to the filling. All you're going to need are 4 ingredients: a box of strawberry Duncan Hines cake mix, 2 eggs, a 1/2 cup of melted butter, and a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Since this batter is a lot thicker and similar to a cookie dough, my tips are to give the hand mixer a break and flip through the bottom and sides with a rubber spatula. This helps avoid overmixing, which can make the brownies too tough. Then finish up the rest with your mixer until well combined. The key is not to overfill the mold. This dough rises a lot and a little goes a long way. The perfect amount is about 1/2 teaspoon. Place the ball of dough into the cavity and evenly flatten to form the shape. It's important not to underfill as well, otherwise they won't be as soft. Instead, they'll be too crispy. The dough is so easy to work with. I really enjoyed being able to recreate these strawberry brownies into a Cakesicle version as a unique summer treat. Before going in the oven, here's an idea of what they look like. Let's bake for 15 minutes at 325. And for the custom shapes, place into a 9-inch greased and lined pan, baked for slightly more time, 20 minutes at 325. Let's take a peek at how they came out. They pop right out and have that same great texture as the brownie bars in the form of a Cakesicle. All 3 of the fantastic flavors are complete. To begin preparing the molds, wash and dry them so they're nice and clean. And a game-changing tip is to cut them out individually. Also doing the same for any other specialty mold you want to use, like the assorted fruits. An individual mold like the teddy bear is already made into a popsicle mold and won't require cutting. However, anything with multiple cavities can be converted into a DIY popsicle mold by cutting it out and using an X-Acto knife to create a slit in the center where the popsicle stick should go. It really is that simple. Now I'm going to show you an easy and effortless method for these standard Cakesicles. The 4 essentials you're going to need are a silicone pouring cup filled with melted chocolate, number 2, the popsicle molds that have been cut out, number 3, an icing scraper, and number 4, your popsicle sticks of choice, plus all the cake and fillings. Start by having your chocolate melting wafers thinned out to a fluid pourable consistency and pour a generous amount right into the cavity, swirling the chocolate around to coat the mold in several rotations, especially by the edge. Once completely coated, spill the excess chocolate out so the walls of the base layer aren't too thick. Then finish by cleaning up the edges with an icing scraper and insert the popsicle stick through the slot as a placeholder, but not all the way just yet. The best part is there's no need for a second coat or to reinforce anything with a brush. This method saves so much time and is very similar to the one for my updated hot cocoa bomb tutorial. As for chocolate, my wafers are Merkin's brand. I added enough coconut oil as my thinning agent so that it's fluid enough at the right molding temperature. Merkin's is around 86 to 90 degrees. My last tip is to spill the excess back into the silicone pouring cup for easy cleanup and to conserve for later. While the base layer is setting, take the cake and brownies that were prepared in the Cakesicle mold and slice a little bit off from the bottom. I'll demonstrate why that's important in a few moments. First, for the Twinkie flavor, pipe marshmallow fluff as a filling. I added a few zigzags and pressed the vanilla cake right over it to fit inside the mold, then push the stick through the cake. The double chocolate brownie has a Nutella filling and the homemade brownie on top. As you can see, that empty area on the bottom is important for the chocolate to flow into the slot and prevent cracks. Last but not least, the Strawberry Crunch Brownie has a snack cake frosting as the filling. The reason I chose that instead of the original cream cheese frosting that goes with the recipe is that the cream cheese is perishable and requires refrigeration. As you know, I don't refrigerate my cake pops or Cakesicles, so anything containing dairy would have to be make and eat right away. However, all these fillings in the video are safe out of the fridge for several days. I had to sprinkle on some of my strawberry crunch topping. If you're in need of a quick recipe for that, you could find it in my YouTube shorts. And the final step is to seal up the back layer. Either a squeeze bottle or piping bag has a thinned out chocolate will achieve the most smooth results as possible. The way I fill it in is similar to how you would flood a sugar cookie. Squeeze with more pressure and allow the chocolate to flow into the bottom to cover up that tricky spot by the stick. Then push the chocolate around in a zigzag motion for everything else. Wait until the chocolate has completely set after about 15 to 20 minutes and carefully peel away from the mold to reveal a flawless canvas for decorating, no cracks by the stick, and beautiful backs. I hope this becomes your new go-to method. Comment down below if this simplifies the process for you. The fun part is the decorating. All these super cute fruit decorations were molded with chocolate. Another option is fondant, but whenever it's possible, I like to mold with chocolate. The details are so crisp, appear less thick, and more professional. Simply attach the decorations with melted chocolate as your glue. And for my favorite design, I took these green sour streamer candies from Dollar Tree, attached a pair of them together to create a stem, then placed a molded cherry on each side, finished off with green chocolate leaves. And guys, if you're enjoying so far, be sure to join the party and subscribe for more fun treat tutorials and hit that bell to receive all notifications. These are fabulous inside and out. Let's take it to the next level and get creative with custom Cakesicle shapes that are so much more of a breeze than you think. The 4 basic tools are a squeeze bottle or piping bag, whichever you prefer. Number 2, the custom molds already cut and prepared. Number 3, different shaped cookie cutters. And number 4, your popsicle sticks. First things first, lay down all the details by filling in the impressions on the mold with your desired colors, exactly like I did here. Once completely set, spill in just enough chocolate as the background layer. It shouldn't be too thick of a layer, just enough to cover all of those details, repeating the same technique to cover the muzzle on the teddy bear, the seeds and rind on the watermelon, and leaves and seeds on the strawberry, with the chocolate at that fluid, pourable consistency to flow into all the corners. Allow this to firmly set like a layer of cement and get ready to cut the cake. cake. Select a cookie cutter shape that best matches the mold, for example, a circle for the lemon and bear, and a triangle for the watermelon slice. Amazon has cookie cutter sets with a range of sizes. To check that the cutter passes the test, you'll see a rim around the edge to easily access with a piping bag or squeeze bottle when sealing in the cake, so keep in mind not to overstuff. Take out your cake and brownies that were baked in the pan and cut out the shapes. In the case that the cake is too high, either flatten or slice off a portion from the top with a knife. I prefer adjusting the height before adding to the mold to prevent disrupting the layer of chocolate underneath from squishing the cake down with too much pressure. And as for the brownies, you may need a little bit of muscle to saw through the chocolate chips, but it's definitely worth it. I chose for the strawberry cakesicle to be strawberry crunch flavor, of course. Pipe the filling with a spoonful of strawberry crunch and lightly push down the cake as you insert the stick through the slit. The teddy bear has a swirl of Nutella filling in addition to a disc of double chocolate brownie. Notice that space between the cake and the edge to comfortably fit a squeeze bottle or piping bag when sealing up the back and sides. Again, it's all about consistency. The chocolate should flow around the edges with ease and spread around. A clumpy chocolate won't spread, leaving holes or cracks in your design. If you're still unsure about how to achieve the right consistency, you may find it helpful to watch my video where I compare 4 brands of melting wafers from cheapest to most expensive. I demonstrated on Cakesicles, strawberries, and other common treats. Or to learn from a written guide, I break down all the specifics in my mini ebook found on my Etsy shop. It gives you a blueprint of the exact amount of thinning agent and what temperature for each brand and treats. We're all done flooding in the final layer to seal everything in. After setting for about 20 minutes, pop your creations out of the mold to splash into summer. The chocolate layers blend in clean and seamlessly. In the comments section, I'd love to know what your favorite cakesicle design is. It's very hard just to choose one. I hope you guys enjoyed the no-dough cakesicle method and you learned something new. Give this video a thumbs up if you did. It's Christina here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.